First one today is going to go to Mike Ganter from the Toronto Sun.
Hey, Kyle. How you doing?
What's up?
I see you're targeting education reform as your sort of role there. What change exactly are you hoping to get in that?
Well, I think it starts with that, right? I think it starts with, the youth. Myself growing up in the inner city, we weren't really taught Black African American history. We were taught American history. We weren't taught about, our ancestors, our history of the African Americans. We have a month. We had a month in February that we kind of went through some stuff, and that was it. But it starts with the youth, and it sucks because the type of neighborhood I grew up in, they don't get the same education as the kids, in the suburbs and the more polished neighborhoods and the tax money. They don't get the tax money. They don't get the opportunities that the other kids do. The kids in my neighborhood grew up in. So I think it starts there. I think it starts with educating the youth and having them understand what it is.
And in terms of what you're seeing from your kids are still pretty young. I'm assuming it's too early for that. You're not seeing that yet in terms of what they're going to get in terms of, Black history. And
I teach them, I teach me and my family, we teach them, ourselves. We're not going to wait for anyone else. We're going to continue. We're going to do what we have to do. And we've always done what we've had to do to make sure that our kids understand where we come from, what we stand for, and the things that, the Black people have, had to encounter.
All right. And from a basketball standpoint, I noticed you were at the game last night. What's that experience like? I mean, in watching a game without fans, without, is it the same for you?
It was awesome. I enjoyed it. I think the competition level was high. I think the nature of being a professional basketball player is at a high level. I think guys are just ready to get back to work. And, last night proved it with both those games. There's a lot at stake for some teams, and some teams are preparing for the championship run.
All right. Thanks, Kyle.
Yeah, you took up a lot of your time, man.
We go next to Josh Lewinberg from TSN.
Hey, Kyle. How you doing?
What's up, man?
Thanks for doing this. With the season starting, the fear for some people is that basketball might overshadow or take the spotlight away from some of the bigger social justice issues that you guys have been working so hard to address. As an NBA community, that being players, coaches, owners, league, and us in the media, what do you think we can all do to make sure that doesn't happen?
I think with our league, what we're doing as players is we're voicing we're voicing everything we need to voice, and we're always going to continue to talk about justice for Breonna Taylor. We're talking about voting, talking about voter suppression. We're going to continue to push the issue, in the back of our jerseys, in our interviews, and in our process. And for the media, I think you guys just keep the conversation going to highlight the things, not just basketball, but the things that we are pushing for, in the back of jerseys. You guys ask questions on why does, this person have that in the back of their jersey or this in the back of their jersey, so those guys can talk about it and inform you guys about that, why they want that or why they chose those words.
Thank you, Kyle. I appreciate that.
Good question, Josh. You get the next one next time.
That was a first for me, right?
Yeah, about time.
Go next to Doug Smith from the Toronto Star.
Oh, I'm not going to be as good as Josh, that's for sure, because never can be. On the basketball side of things, now that you're starting to play games that matter more than the scrimmages, what advantages does your team's history have to get it ready to go through these 8 games and then the playoffs? What do you expect to see from you guys?
I don't know if there's any advantages. We got to get back out there and get back on the floor together. I think we have a group of professionals that go out there and know their jobs, understand their roles, and I think that's the one thing I will say that we have is true professionals, guys who want to win and guys who want to continue to chase what we want to try to get to again, and that's holding the trophy at the end of this season. But for us, it's about just being us and continue to try to grow in these 8 games and then pushing forward to the next 3 months of playoffs.
Nick has talked often about using these 8 games as an exhibition season just to ramp guys up rather than go 100 miles an hour right off the bat. Is it going to be hard to hold back for players who haven't played since March?
No, you're asking me, so you know
Yeah.
that.
Well, because you're going to give me the right answer.
Exactly. So you know it's gonna be too hard for me, players like myself and all pros to hold back. Nick's gonna do his best for us, and we trust in what he's gonna do, and we're gonna roll with the decisions he makes, and we're gonna go out there and try to get better and win every game.
Thanks, Kyle. I'll go listen to Josh now.
Please don't.
Up next, we got Eric Kareen from The Athletic.
Hey, Kyle, thanks so much for the time. I asked Nick yesterday what he most needs to see to sort of convince him that you guys are capable of making that long run. And he sort of said, get that defense back up to the level you were playing before the hiatus and maybe even longer. Is there something you're super curious about seeing about your team?
Oh, I just want to get back to work, to be honest with you.
Do you have faith that you guys can sort of get back to that defensive level?
I mean, really? Yes, I have faith in what we can do. Yes, I believe I know what we can do, Eric.
Thanks, Kyle.
All right.
All right, we're going to finish off with Tim Bontemps from ESPN.
I think that's the end of my conversation there. Tim, this better be a good question, Tim.
I'll see what I can do for you, pal. I know you were at the game last night, like you talked about earlier. I was curious what you thought of seeing the protest for the game in person. And I was curious what you've thought about in terms of what will be going through your head and when I assume you guys do that for your game also.
I think it was beautiful. I think it was amazing. I think it set the tone for what we're down here for. Those 4 teams, including coaches and their organizations, I think that was beautiful that they did that, and they did it in unison. And for us to be able to do that and our league support us, and our players and all of us being one, yes, we're all competitors, and yes, we want to beat each other, but at the end of the day, we're out here, trying to get some social justice and, trying to get things changed and keep the conversation going and doing more to make sure that, the next generation doesn't have to go through what we've gone through. And what'll be going through my head is, justice for, Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, Eric Garner, all these guys, these, black human beings, black men, black women being killed in cold blood. That stuff hits hard. And, I have 2 young children, and I would hate to have that happen to them or happen to me or anyone in my family or anyone I know. I couldn't imagine going through that, and I think that all is going to be being played in my head.
And as far as you obviously have been, you were a real central part of trying to get this thing put together. You're one of the people that Adam Silver talked to a lot. You've been involved in a lot of the committees. As you're now getting into the games and the real part of this thing, kind of where's your head at in terms of how this thing is playing out and just kind of how the whole setup is at this point?
I think it's amazing. I think I think the league, the Players Association, players in general have done a great job of following the rules, doing all the things that we need to do, the protocols, the testing, the questionnaire, filling out forms and social distancing, wearing masks. And I think we've done a good job of continuing to be the leaders in the charge of what, we have to do to make this thing successful.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.